I logged in, the familiar hum of the headset filling my senses. The HUD flickered to life, showing my upgraded stats, level 16, all attributes maxed with the Ivory Moon armor, and the Crimson weapon set fully equipped. Projectile launcher fully upgraded, craftable projectiles replenished, Yumi and Kuzurigama at the ready. Chapter 3's loading screen faded to reveal the battlefield. A sprawling cliffside fortress perched above a volcanic chasm. Smoke and ash drifted into the crimson sky, glowing embers swirling around jagged stone battlements. The game's AI had been upgraded for this chapter. Enemies would now adapt, use the terrain, and coordinate attacks. The first wave of opponents appeared, 12 ninjas, heavily armed with spears, shurikens, shortbows, and even the early black powder muskets from Chapter 2. They spread out, flanking from both sides, using the terrain to their advantage. I inhaled, centering myself. My HUD marked the incoming projectiles and arrows, but I left it off, trusting my instincts and reflexes honed over real-world martial arts training. The first arrow whizzed past my shoulder. I rolled to cover behind a charred stone column, then fired a volley of enhanced projectiles from my launcher. The explosion scattered the closest group, but several ninjas advanced, undeterred. One lunged with a Yari, low and fast. I sidestepped, pivoting into a spinning heel kick, sending him crashing into the lava-scorched ground. Another came at me from above, blade flashing. I countered with a double palm strike, launching him backward into a wall. The fight quickly became cinematic, a fluid dance of martial arts styles. A high kick to an advancing enemy, the sweeping leg to trip another. I switched seamlessly between judo throws, Wing Chun strikes, Muay Thai elbows, and karate chops, all layered atop my enhanced armor that absorbed and deflected blows with no penalty. The ninjas adapted. 2 black powder muskets fired in tandem, forcing me to duck behind a crumbling wall. Explosions rocked the battlefield, but my armor's integrity remained strong, taking only minor chip damage. I grabbed a drop no dachi, spinning it in a practiced arc. A ninja lunged with a Kuzurigama. I deflected the sickle with a blade, then swept the chain around his legs, tripping him into a pool of molten rock. Minutes stretched like hours. Each enemy fell in cinematic bursts, limbs scattering, weapons spinning into the air, explosions throwing shadows across the fortress walls. My Crimson Yari's spearhead gleamed in the firelight as I launched precise lunges, impaling one ninja after another. A sniper in the distance tried to rain arrows down. I used the environment, rolling and vaulting over debris, drawing him into a narrow bridge where my projectiles could safely eliminate him. Glyph's voice buzzed faintly in chat. Dude, you're tearing them apart? Even the AI is learning from your patterns. I grinned. Let's see how they handle this next wave. Suddenly, from the fortress gates, 3 mini-bosses emerged, each wearing black and red armor, wielding dual blades and throwing knives. Their movements were precise, coordinated, almost like a ballet of death. I crouched, planning my next moves. No HUD, no distractions. Just the battlefield, my weapons and instincts. This was Chapter 3, and the real fight was just beginning. The smoke cleared, the flames along the cracked walls slowly guttering out. The bodies of the 3 mini-bosses lay strewn across scorched stone, their armor warped from the heat of my strikes. The fortress gate loomed ahead, cracked open just enough to leak molten light from within. But I didn't move forward yet. I knew better. I holstered the crimson katana, shouldered the Yari, and began combing the battlefield. My HUD flickered alive as I toggled into scavenger mode, icons glowing faintly over points of interest across the charred courtyard. The first was a shattered supply crate tucked near a collapsed wall. I pried it open and found bundles of iron filings, black powder, and lacquer shards, prime crafting materials. My HUD tagged them instantly for projectile crafting and armor reinforcement. I tucked them into my inventory, the thought of future upgrades already running through my mind. The second cache was hidden beneath a pile of scorched timbers. I shifted the wood aside and uncovered weapons I already owned: a spare tanto, a Yari head, and a dented Kuzurigama. Redundant for me now, but useful as salvage. The HUD auto-marked them for conversion into repair and crafting credits. I moved deeper, past the charred remains of the ninja squad, and spotted something glinting near the sniper's perch. Climbing carefully, I found Taranako smoke bombs, about 6 of them bundled neatly in a pouch. My HUD pinged with a soft chime. New item acquired. Status effect unlocked. Smoke screen. A grin spread across my face. Finally, smoke bombs meant stealth options. I imagined chaining them with my Kuzarigama or launching projectiles from concealment. Pure chaos for the AI. From there, the discoveries escalated. In a collapsed armory at the fortress's edge, I unearthed an upgrade kit for my Yumi bow. Reinforced drawstring, hardened arrowheads, lacquered grips. HUD text scrolled across my vision. Yumi upgraded range plus 20%, attack plus 15%, precision plus 10%. I tested the string once, the twang sharp and satisfying. This wasn't just an upgrade, it was a new dimension of power. But the strangest find came last. Near the corpse of the fastest mini-boss, half buried in ash, lay a simple flute, wooden worn, but still intact. No stat bonuses popped up. No flashy HUD tags. Just a line of text. Mystic flute acquired function unknown. I held it in my hand, turning it slowly. The thing felt out of place here. Too delicate, too deliberate. A hidden mechanic? A lore hook? Or something far more dangerous? Oh, you're picking up weird loot. Glyph's voice came through the comms. Toranako Yumi upgrades, and now the flute? Bro, that's not in the base loot tables. I tucked it into my inventory anyway. That just makes me want to know what it does even more. The battlefield was clear. Crafting materials secured, weapons salvaged, upgrades complete. The gate yawned before me, wider than before, pulsing with molten light. The fortress gates groaned as if alive, the molten glow from within painting the courtyard in blood-red light. Ash swirled like falling snow, and the ground trembled beneath my boots. I tightened my grip on the crimson Yari, every muscle tensed. The HUD dimmed and then vanished. A cinematic cutscene had been triggered. The gates slammed fully open with a thunderous crack. Out strode a towering figure clad in onyx and gold-plated armor, layered heavy like a shrine guardian statue. His kabuto helm curved into jagged horns, his mask shaped into a demon's twisted grin. A massive Odachi sword, nearly as long as I was tall, rested across his shoulder, glowing faintly from the heat of the volcanic air. The camera panned low, rising up his towering frame as embers floated around him like cursed fireflies. He didn't rush. He simply walked forward with measured steps that shook the scorched stones, his aura oppressive. Then he stopped, raising his helm slightly toward me. Intruder, his voice rumbled, layered with distortion, like multiple spirits speaking through him. You defy the river of time. You wear armor not of this world, and for that, you will be buried in it. The camera cut to my perspective, my crimson katana gleaming in hand, Toranako pouch strapped to my belt, the Yumi newly upgraded across my back. My stance lowered, the volcanic glow reflecting in my visor. The boss lifted the great Odachi high, holding it with terrifying ease. He slammed it into the ground. The earth split, fire bursting skyward, casting his shadow across the fortress walls. His health bars spanned the entire top of my HUD, segmented into phases. Obsidian Daimyo, Guardian of the Inferno. HP 3500/3500. The screen shook as he roared, pulling the Odachi free from the stone. A wave of heat distorted the air between us. The cutscene ended with a hard jolt of controller vibration. Sword raised, fire at his back, his glowing eyes locked on me. The fight had begun. The cutscene's heat haze dissolved back into player control. The Obsidian Daimyo raised his great Odachi again, flames licking up the length of the blade. My HUD pulsed alive, my health steady, my inventory stocked. I paused, saved, slid the upgraded Yumi and the Toranako pouch into inventory slots, and left them untouched. They'd be my insurance policies, but not my crutch. This one's on me. The Daimyo swung. Slow, deliberate, powerful. I slipped just outside the arc, feeling the air warp as the blade hammered into the stone, kicking up molten debris. His strength was obscene, but his rhythm was readable. He telegraphed just enough for me to counterstrike. Every opening, I darted in with a crimson tanto, cutting through gaps in his plate, chipping away at the towering health bar. 3,300, 3,240, 3,150. The fight wasn't hard. Not exactly, but it was grinding. That's when the first ninja dropped from the walls. Thin, fast, armed with Kuzarigama. He dashed in, shrieking, blade whirling. I pivoted, parried, and drove a heel into his ribs. His body snapped under the blow, insta-kill. His health bar blinked out immediately. Then another came, and another. By the time I'd circled back to the daimyo, half a dozen ninjas were already swarming. Weak, brittle, one strike each and they fell apart, but constant. Their sheer presence broke the rhythm of the boss fight, pulling my attention, forcing me to spend stamina and movement on what were essentially distractions. That's when it hit me. This isn't difficulty, I muttered, voice low under my breath. This is padding. The daimyo's swings were manageable. Predictable, even. But the AI spam, dozens of fodder enemies dropping from rooftops and bursting from hidden pits, stretched the fight, turning every clean duel into crowd-control chaos. I kept my movements tight, efficient. One slash to the neck here. One projectile burst there. Ninjas folded under the slightest touch, their bodies vanishing in digital smoke. Still, they forced me to stay mobile, never letting me settle into a rhythm against the daimyo. Boss HP, 2,700, 2,400, 1,800. The daimyo's armor cracked, molten fire hissing from vents along his breastplate. His breathing grew heavier, distorted through the demonic mask. I exhaled, feeling the weight of the grind. One more dodge, one more counterstrike. My katana slid across the seam in his side. His health bar dipped into critical thresholds, 1,500. And then the world lurched. The ground split in fiery cracks, the fortress walls shuddering. My HUD blinked to black as a cinematic cutscene ripped control from me. The daimyo roared, slamming his great odachi into the ground. Lava geysers erupted, sending shockwaves across the battlefield. The ninjas evaporated in the blast, as if the boss himself dismissed them. The camera zoomed in tight on his mask, cracks running through it, fire glowing behind the fissures like hell's furnace. His voice shook the world. You are no warrior, you are endless hunger. I will burn the demon out of you. His health bar reignited in molten red. Phase 2 unlocked. The cutscene snapped away, control flooding back into my hands. The ground was no longer stable. Cracks spiderwebbed across the fortress floor, molten streams pulsing between the stones. Every few seconds a geyser erupted, forcing me to keep light on my feet. Step wrong, and my armor integrity would bleed away fast. The obsidian daimyo moved with more urgency now, still deliberate, still heavy, but his great odachi came down faster, each strike sending shockwaves that tossed loose debris into the air. Predictable, I reminded myself. Stay patient. Stay sharp. Then the first samurai reinforcement arrived. Unlike the fodder ninjas from Phase 1, these enemies carried real weight. They wore ash-black armor, carried katana and yari, and moved with calm precision. They weren't here to swarm, they were here to test me. One engaged at a time, always at the worst moments, sliding into the opening right after I dodged a heavy swing from the daimyo. The first samurai lunged with a yari thrust. I sidestepped, caught his wrist, and torqued hard, snapping the joint before spinning him into the lava fissure. His scream cut short in a hiss of steam. Another came from behind. Katana slash. I pivoted low, inside his guard, and slammed my elbow across his mask. Bone and steel cracked, and he dropped instantly.